Hi, Standers. This is Sheila Hollinger with Marriage Revealed Ministries. I pray that you guys are enjoying your summer. We are wrapping up our summer here. School starts here in Florida in just a little over a week. So many last minute to do things. It's crazy with three kiddos. The message today is called Standing Wrong. And it's inspired from something that someone wrote in a comment. They said that they just now realized that this whole time they've been standing wrong. And I want to address that because this really is the heart of our ministry, is about that revelation that comes when we know the first part of the journey, right? How painful it is and how it brings awareness to our own minds and hearts, like where our focus is. We understand when we come to this place where, like, this whole time I've been so self-centered about my relationship, about my spouse loving me, and I've come to realize that I really didn't care. Now, this is not for everybody, but for most people, I'll just speak for myself. I didn't care about my spouse loving God, only if it benefited me, right? So that is the awareness that we come to this revelation that, God, you weren't important. And that's sad. That's really heartbreaking that I don't care if I love you. I don't care if my spouse loves you. And you start to become more and more aware of where your intentions are, where your heart lies. And so let's talk about idols for a second. So, an idol is anything that you exalt above God. An idol is something that you absolutely love, cherish, adore, whether it's good for you or not. And it's something that you put more importance on above God. And it says that we are not to have idols above or beside Him. So you can actually put something very close in proximity to God, right, beside Him. And God says that He wants nothing even come close to Him. And what happens is when we don't know Him as we should, when we don't understand Him, right? When we don't really get the full grasp of Him, it's easy to put things above Him and beside Him because we tend to love what we see, we feel, we touch, we know. We love what we know. We love what we experience. So God understands that if we were just to meet Him one day, we don't have any experiences with Him. So it's very easy to not have Him above all because we just don't understand Him as we should. So idols are not something that just we can just put down. Idols have to fall. They have to be replaced. So let's go back to standing wrong. I stood wrong. The whole first part of my storm, I was standing with self-centered motivation to get my marriage back, get my spouse back, get back what I loved, what I knew, what I had experienced. And it wasn't until I started to experience something else. And as my husband kept you know, damaging our relationship more and more, as he started to slip from that idol spot, from that above God spot, by the heartbreak, by my eyes being more and more opened, that, I had put my faith, my hope, my trust, everything into a person who was a person, a sinner, right? People are going to fail you. They are going to let you down. They're going to break your heart. They're going to lie to you. They're going to be mistrustworthy. They're going to have bad days. They're going to not be there for you. There's all these things that, when you make a person your rock, your whole center of your world, your whole existence, right? They're going to let you down. And God is patiently waiting for you to see that through experience with Him, right? That is His place, because He created us to want that. He created us to want to be secure, to be loved, to be cherished, to be adored. He created all of that in us, right? Why did He create that in us if it's meant to be left unfulfilled? He never created us to be that way. because he knew he could fulfill it. He would never create us to want something we couldn't want if he wasn't able to provide it for us. So nobody likes to be lied to, right? We all love truth. We all love security. We all love to be respected. All of these things he created in us, but he understands that people are going to fail us. Okay? When he created us to want something and desire something, he created it based off of what he is, right? We all want to be loved. He is love. We all want to be secure. He is security. We all want truth. He is truth, right? He didn't create us to want things. Now, sin, of course, is always crouching. It's always there. It's always ready to steal from us because sin is a counterfeit. It's a place of rescue. It's a place of, it's a counterfeit refuge, right? A lot of times that we just don't know how to connect with him. We don't understand him. Sometimes shame keeps us from being able to go to him. Uh, Unworthiness keeps us from going to him. So we go to those rescue places that are not him. That's why there's addictions. That's why there's just so many places of counterfeit that you seek people. But standing wrong, okay? We all start off in a place of wanting what we want. And it's a process of transformation experience. This is why I say all the time, keep going. Keep going. Even though you might be starting out on the wrong path, you're heading to the final destination, right? You might think this path is not, you think it's what you're on, right? And it might not be providing you with the results that you want right away, but you're actually going in the right direction. Because every day that you fail at getting your spouse back, every day that you fail in communicating with them, or you fail to get what you want from them, is a step toward leaning more on God, trusting more on God. Every time your heart is broken, it becomes more aware this isn't working, but God is. Every day that you fail at marriage restoration was a day that every day that I failed at restoring my marriage was a day that I succeeded in restoration with God. More leaning on him, even on those days where I was just pouring out my heart and crying. One of the most eye-opening, amazing things that I didn't know that God could do for me was on the days where the pain was so intense that we're talking physical, right? Where it crushes your chest, where you feel so lost, so like this is never going to change. I would get in these places of he's really never going to change. This is never going to go back to normal. And the pain was so intense. Or there was days where there would be so much anger, burning anger and hurt. And what was crazy to me was how I didn't know that God could literally wash that away in an instant. But he did, and every time he did, I was so amazed. I would just be crying or stomping around the house, just so angry. And it only took a second for him to speak to my heart. Even sometimes it wasn't words, it was just a presence. And all of a sudden, all that pain was gone. All of that anger was gone. And I would be so amazed. I'm like, I just never realized that you could come and wash it away, ease my pain, take my heartbreak. And it wasn't that God was coming in and solving the problem, right? It's not like he just walked in and said, here's your husband back. No, he was with me. I wasn't alone. He was going through it with me, and it made me feel something. I was like, okay, if God is here, and I know he's here because my pain just diminished instantly, this must be important to him. I must be important to him. Did it happen every single time? No. No, I would say more often than not, I stayed in the pain, but I cried it out. I worked it out. I figured it out. Mentally, I was holding on to something that I had to release to him, and then the pain would diminish, like self-pity or anger or unforgiveness or judgments or believing a lie. Once I got rid of that, and that was the process, working it out, talking it through with him, saying, wait a minute, I fell back into deception again. I'm believing again that he's never loved me, or maybe this is what he's always wanted, or whatever the lie was. Once I got rid of that, that was the pain. And then the pain would diminish. But there were times when it was just pain. It was just pure pain. And he would come and I would wake up and go, wow, he really cares about me. He really is here to just comfort me, to cry with me, to just to go through this with me. And it was those times that I would come out of it and say, he means more to me than I realized. He's really not what I thought he was. And I just started to experience him more and more. And that's how he started to win my heart. That's how he started to prove to me who he really was. And I got to know him. And when I would read the scriptures, because I had already had that experience with him, some of those scriptures now took on a different meaning. They took on a different understanding. Like when he says, I'll never leave or forsake you. Well, since I had just experienced an experience with him, it was like, okay, that's a little bit more meaningful now. Now I have that personal experience, that personal intimacy, right? And that's what our standing journey is about. It's about daily going through these hard, hard places. If you just breezed right through everything, you wouldn't need God. You wouldn't need to know him. You wouldn't need to press in. You wouldn't need to find those places of exchange where you're giving him this and he's giving you something in exchange. And a lot of times you're giving him your fear. You're giving him your unbelief. You're giving him your, anger, your pain, your frustrations, your heartbreak. You're giving him these things and he's giving back something in exchange. And that's how he starts to exalt himself in your life, in your heart. It's to where one day you wake up and you're like, I'm not using him to get back what I want. I'm trusting him. I'm loving him. He is my number one. He is the air that I breathe. He is everything. So no, standing wrong, it's yes and no, right? We all start off standing wrong. We all start off asking for what we lost. We all start off in a place, but that's how it works. Because if you knew God the way you were supposed to know God, right? Same with our spouses. If they knew God the way they were supposed to know him, they would never do what they're doing. They might get tempted. They might find out that they've got some issues in their heart, but their personal love for him guards them, guards them from making that mistake because they would not do what they're doing because they love him so much they would never jeopardize what he means to them. When you cross that line and you enter into sin, you will, you'll test what your spouse means to you. And you'll make excuses and you'll walk away and you'll do things and you'll say, well, you'll deflect and you'll blame and you'll do all that. But you can't do that with God, right? You can't blame God and say you're imperfect and you did this and you did that. So spouses can blame you, but they can't blame God. When you love him so much, you'll know, okay, I'm tempted and this is on me. And you'll go to God and you'll say, I need your help to get out of this. I don't want to ever do anything that's going to jeopardize my relationship with you because I know this is wrong. So that's the difference. We are standing because we know that our spouses need him, right? And when you don't understand that, that's the place that God is trying to get. So standing the wrong way will get you to the right way. So I just wanted to share that message with you today. I pray it blesses you. If you feel like you've been doing it wrong, if you come to a place of condemnation or shame or anything, know that that's not how it works, right? We didn't get on this journey to find out, oh no, I have been doing it so wrong and shame on me. No, that's not how it works, right? So many times we just don't understand that this was the process. This was our journey of transformation and enlightenment and revelation and truth. We came out of that lukewarm state. And so that's what God has been trying to do for us. So no, you weren't standing wrong. You were laying down your idol as you were picking up him. And it's not wrong. It is the process. So have some grace for yourself. Forgive yourself if you've been beating yourself up. It is a beautiful transformation process. It's a beautiful thing. And it is life changing. So God bless you. I pray that you get to enjoy the rest of your summer and you don't, run around with like a chicken with its head cut off like I'm doing trying to get my kiddos set for school. God bless you guys. Love you.